Hey guys, so I had a request yesterday from Dylan who is doing a paper for one of his classes, and I wanted to just answer it in a video. I had offered to do a FaceTime or a chat with him personally, but it seemed easier to do a video so that all of you could benefit maybe from the information. So the question that he was asking was, what is it like doing a prearrangement with a family, and how do you prepare them kind of for the future? And then also, what do you accomplish or do during a prearrangement or pre-need with a family? So the beginning part, it's kind of a very ambiguous, huge question, because I have sat with pregnant people planning for the death of their child. I've sat with people planning for the death of their 7-year-old with cancer, 40-year-olds dying of cancer, 80, 90-year-olds. So every spectrum, so every time it's a little different, and you're trying to accomplish something different each time. So you have an imminent situation and you have just a pre-planning situation, and they're very, very different feels to them. So an imminent situation, you're either sitting with somebody whose family member is dying, or, hey Ryan, or you're sitting with the deceased before they die, and you're making some plans. And it is often heavy. There's no other word for it. You know that death is coming. You know that these people are going to be in pain, or that this person is not going to be here soon. It's always very surreal the first time you meet with a family, or you go to someone's home and you sit next to the hospital bed and talk to the person that's dying, and then 3 days later you're called to the house and you're taking that person into your care because they've died. So it's a very surreal feeling, because up until a week before, you hadn't known these people. They hadn't been anyone who would affect your life, and then all of a sudden there's someone who's there, and then they're gone, and then you're caring for them. So it's definitely an added side of emotion and connection that's added to situations, not just a death call. You've met the person and are sitting with them or praying with them, or whatever is comfortable for you to do. Now sometimes the prearrangement is done because they just want to give you one bit of information. I've done so many pre-needs where the person just says, hey, I just want to make sure that my family knows I want Amazing Grace, or hey, I just want to put my discharge paper on file. It's just a simple, hey, I want something in writing somewhere for myself. And so they are just reaching out for you to be their filing cabinet for them for this information, so that when they die, you can tell their family, hey, they wanted Amazing Grace played, or hey, they wanted this done. And so it may just be that simple, or may be that they want to make the full arrangement as if it was at the time of need. So emotion-wise, you have all the spectrum there. So it may be just an information gathering session, or it may be planning because the person's dying the next week. So it really is all over the place. A huge thing is helping them to plan for what they're going to be doing at the time. So either giving them maybe the biographical sheet to fill in, or giving them tasks to gather pictures, get clothing together, get information for the obituary, get biographical information, start thinking about your mom or dad's favorite things. Some people, hospice often will tell families, you need to call a funeral home and kind of get them involved. And sometimes they push them a little harder and say, you need to go do this. And I always say, are you sure you want to leave your loved one? Because sometimes they come to the funeral home and they don't want to be there. They want to be home with their loved one who could be dying any minute. And I've sat with families and they get a call from hospice while we're sitting there, and their loved one passed or died. I hate saying passed. And so, it's a full spectrum of what you can encounter and what may be done. But all you can do is kind of put into their hands, if it is an imminent situation, what they can be doing to fill their time. Because they're just watching somebody die, and you can't just sit there watching them. You want something to do. You want to be proactive. You want to be helping the situation, and planning for the next step is the best way to help. So they can gather together paperwork. They can find the discharge paper. They can get out life insurance policies. They can make lists of people to call. They can make pallbearer lists and all sorts of things. So all of those things they can start planning ahead. Also, just gathering some of that paperwork, if it is a just general pre-need, gathering some of that to put in the file at the funeral home is always good to do. If they want to put a photo on file, if they want to put down song options, things like that. So then things you can accomplish. I always, when I sit down with someone, I say, well, what brought you in today and what are you hoping to accomplish with our time together? Because this leads you down which path you're going to go. Initially in my career, I didn't do this, and I would sit down expecting that somebody wanted to do the full shebang and give me money and go on and, just do it all. And we'd start down there like, all we wanted to do was get a little bit of information. So they're almost more information seeking. So you really have to sit back and find out, why are they there? Best question, you can ask, and don't just say, hey, so why are you here? What are you hoping to accomplish today? And what would you like when you leave here to be done for you for the future, or for your mom for the future? Because some people may just want to be spending down in order to apply for state aid also. That's another big one that people come in for, is they just need to get rid of some money so they can then go apply for state aid. So they just need the paperwork that you would provide them, and they need to put the money in so it's set aside for their funeral, so they can then get some state aid to go into a nursing home or a facility. So then once you ask that question, you're going to know, are we just here to get information? Are we here to look at caskets? Are we here to pick out urns? Are we here to just find out what this process is about? Are they price shopping? Are they, what is their goal? Thank you, Jim. So it is a broad spectrum, Dylan, but there's a few key points to look at there, is finding out what the goal is, where they're at in the process. Is somebody actually dying? Because sometimes you assume that somebody is maybe near the end, but they really are just getting information, or you think they're getting information and one of the people is terminal and you don't realize it, because they don't divulge that until they're comfortable enough with you halfway through the period to share that with you. And it catches you off guard. You're like, okay, so you're going to be dying next week. Okay, that changes. It doesn't change much, but it changes, I think, your approach, because then rather than being in this business mode, you're then like in a almost consoling mode, which is not exactly what they want. They don't want somebody to feel sorry for them. They want to accomplish what they're there to accomplish. So try and help them. By doing that, you're helping them the most. They don't need your pat on the back and hug as much as they need you to help them feel fulfilled in what they're trying to do. When my grandpa was towards the end of his life, in his 90s, he told me he just wanted to take care of his funerals and wanted it to be done for him and his wife, my grandma. And very, very shortly after that, it was the next week, that he went from being sharp as a tack to full-blown dementia and died within another week or two. So it was him needing to know things were in place, him needing to know that his wife was going to be taken care of and finances were done and all of that. I did give him a little lie and told him that I was doing 2 full traditional burials for $2,500 each. Because he's in that generation and one of those people that he was only going to choose cremation because of the cost. And I knew that. And so I knew if I told him I could do a traditional burial for $2,500, that he would go along with what he really wanted. And he did. But that's what you kind of have to do sometimes, is play along. So hopefully, Dylan, that answers your questions. If you guys have questions about pre-need, prearrangements, other things that you're studying or doing reports and things on, by all means, reach out to me. Never apologize, and it's always okay to send me private messages, to email me at Kari@KariNorthey.com, and to reach out. If I don't have time to maybe answer, we have so many other really good directors in this group who are longtime directors, embalmers, funeral directors, who are professors at some of the colleges in mortuary science. So I'll help connect you with somebody who can get you some great information for your projects that you're working on. So talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye.